Think of the home of your dreams. Then think about it some more, and you'll start to get an idea of what the world's most costly properties look like. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we'll tell you about the most expensive mansion in the world as of 2022. So without further delay, let's get started. Buckingham Palace might not be for sale anytime soon, but if it were, it would be worth around $6.7 billion. This would make it the most expensive home in the world. It is where the British royal family lives, and it has 240 bedrooms, as well as a swimming pool and a doctor's office. It is also a place where guided tours are available to the public. This palace in London is where the monarch of the United Kingdom runs his or her business. It is also where the monarch lives. The place is in the City of Westminster, and it is often the place where important official events and royal receptions take place. It has been the center of attention for the people of the United Kingdom both when they were happy and when they were sad. The building that is now called Buckingham House was built for the Duke of Buckingham in 1703 as a large townhouse. It was built on land that had been privately owned for at least 150 years before the palace was built there. It was bought by King George III in 1761 so that Queen Charlotte could have her own apartment. Because of this, it became known as the Queen's House. In the 1800s, architects John Nash and Edward Bloor added 3 wings and a central courtyard to make room for the growing number of people. When Queen Victoria took the throne in 1837, Buckingham Palace became the official place for the British monarch to live in London. The last big changes to the building were made in the second half of the 19th century and at the beginning of the 20th century. One of those additions was the East Front, which has the famous balcony where members of the British royal family used to stand to greet crowds. During the Second World War, a German bomb destroyed the palace chapel. Later, the site was used to build the Queen's Gallery, which first opened to the public in 1962 and shows art from the royal collection. On Sir Charles' long advice, a lot of the original interior designs from the early 19th century have been kept, and a lot of them use a lot of brightly colored scagliola and blue and pink lapis. King Edward VII oversaw some of the use of a color scheme of cream and gold that was inspired by the Belle Epoque. The Royal Pavilion in Brighton and Carlton House both gave furniture and other items that were used to make some of the smaller reception rooms look like they were from the Chinese Regency period. The palace has 775 rooms, and the garden is the biggest private garden in all of London. The staterooms, which are usually only used for official events and social gatherings, are open to the public most days in August and September, and on some days in the winter and spring as well. The front of the palace has more than 830,000 square feet or 77,000 square meters of floor space. It is 355 feet or 108 meters wide, 390 feet or 120 meters deep, and 80 feet or 24 meters high. There are a total of 775 rooms, which are divided as follows: 188 bedrooms for workers, 92 offices, 78 bathrooms, 52 beds for principals, and 19 staterooms. It also has a doctor's office, a post office, a movie theater, a swimming pool, and a jewelry shop. The most important apartments are on the Piano Nobile, which is at the very back of the palace, behind the west-facing garden facade. The beautiful music room is the most important part of this stateroom suite. Its huge bow is the most noticeable part of the outside. On either side of the music room are the blue drawing room and the white drawing room. The top-lit picture gallery is 50 meters or 55 yards long and is in the middle of the suite. It connects the staterooms and is lit from above. In the gallery, there are works by many artists, such as Rembrandt, Van Dyck, Rubens, and Vermeer. Follow the hallway from the gallery to get to other rooms, such as the throne room and the green drawing room. The green drawing room is a huge foyer that leads into the throne room. It is also part of the ceremony route that starts in the guard room at the top of the grand staircase and winds down to the throne. In the guard room, you can find statues of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert dressed as Romans and made of white marble. They are set in a tribune that is covered with tapestries. These very formal chambers are only used for official events and entertaining guests, but they are open to the public during the summer. The semi-state apartments are right below the state apartments, but they aren't as nice as the state apartments. You can get to these chambers from the Marble Hall. They are used for less formal events like lunchtime parties and private audiences. Some of the rooms have been named and decorated in honor of specific guests. For example, the 1844 room was decorated for the state visit of Tsar Nicholas I of Russia, and the 1855 room was decorated for the visit of Emperor Napoleon III of France. Other rooms, like the one named for Queen Victoria of Great Britain, are decorated and named after other guests. The bow room is the main room in this suite. It is also the main entrance for the hundreds of people who come to the monarch's garden parties every year. The Queen lived in a set of rooms in the north wing of the mansion that were smaller and cozier. In the middle of this wing is the famous balcony, and the center room is hidden behind the glass doors that lead to it. In the late 1920s, Queen Mary worked with interior designer Sir Charles Elam to give this Chinese-style saloon a stronger Chinese theme. Even though the lacquer doors came from Brighton in 1873, they were still able to do this. The bar looks like it's from China. The Great Gallery, which is also called the Principal Corridor, runs the whole length of the East Wing's piano nobile. It can also be seen all the way down the east side of the quadrangle. It has mirrored doors and cross-shaped walls that reflect porcelain pagodas and other types of Oriental furniture from Brighton. The Chinese luncheon room, the yellow drawing room, and the center room, which is in the middle, are the three different rooms in this gallery. When a foreign head of state comes to the United Kingdom on a state visit, the monarch of that country often hosts them at Buckingham Palace. They can use big group rooms called the Belgian Suite, which is at the bottom of the minister's staircase on the ground floor of the north-facing garden wing. It has a room called the 1844 room, which is a sitting room that can also be used as a room for guests. It is often used for personal investments. The suite's rooms are connected by narrow hallways. One of the rooms has saucer domes made by Nash in the style of Swan. These domes add height and perspective to the room. In a second hallway in the suite, there are vaults that cross over each other in the style of Gothic architecture. The Belgian rooms were named for King Leopold I of Belgium, who was the uncle of both Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. The Belgian rooms were also decorated in the style they have now. When King Edward VIII moved into the palace for a short time in 1936, the suite was turned into the private quarters of the palace. The huge palace is the kind of mansion that anyone would be happy to call home, and it's clear that the royal family is very proud of it. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.